Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about filters, how we can make use of filters in Web Intelligence report. So this is one of the tools from SAP Business Objects. So now I'm in a Web Intelligence rich client. So here I have a list of data sources. I'm going to make use of one of my universe which is called sales. So under sales I have different folders, and underneath each folder I have different objects, right? So as you know, we have three different sections: results object and query filter, then finally data preview. So these are the default layout which we can see whenever we open a rich client. So we can change the layout, like instead of data preview we can have a scope of analysis. When we want to have a hierarchy or navigation path to activate a vectorial option inside our report. Alright, this time I'm going to go with the data preview to show how the data are look like. So basically, when we want to execute or run this query, we need at least one results object. So I want to make a report using these columns or these objects. Alright, and so our motive is to discuss about query filter. So when I drag and drop one of the object into query filter, so I can see different different options like in list, not in list, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than. So these are the options which we can make use to filter the data. So basically these filters are going to apply on top of the data source. So here we have an empty text box. So we can hard code it typing manually, or we can go with the list of values or list from the web. So if you know the specific value, we can type it manually like a hard coded value, or if you are not sure what kind of value we need to filter it out, or what kind of value we need to know from the list or in a data source, you can go with this option in the drop down. We have values from list. So first option is constant, which we can manually fill the filtered data value, so it is going to filter it out. And the next one is value from list. So basically when you go with the data source, we may not sure what kind of data available under this column or this object, so we can go with list of values and we can select whatever the value we want to filter it out, and we can click OK. So it is going to apply the same, so which we typed manually before. Alright. So this is how we have to go with the second option. Third option is prompt. So prompt in the sense, whenever we run this query, it is going to give you the pop-up screen with the prompt. So there end user can filter it out with interactively, and they can execute the report or run the report. So when I enable this prompt, I have an option enabled here. So this is settings for prompt. So by default the value name will be like enter values for billing status. So still we can customize this to going to this option. Click this option, you have two options: new prompt, use universe parameters. So if you created a parameter in a universe level, you can make use of those parameters to supply as a prompt in this report, or still you can create a custom or new WebI level prompt. So by going with new prompt, alright, here prompt text. So this is text which end user going to see. So based on this text, they have to enter the or filter the values. Here parameter properties, alright. So prompt with the list of values. Keep the prompt with the list of values in the sense. So I'll show what will be happening when I uncheck this, and again I will show what will happen when I check this box. So first let us uncheck everything and click OK. So if I refresh this, it is going to give you the pop-up, right? So here I don't have any value, so I have to manually type the value, right? So I have to enter into this section. So that's then only it will going to apply the filter in the database level. So whatever the value I have to type, I have to type it, and I have to click this arrow mark. Alright, so it is going to come into this section. So whenever we enter a value, if the values are coming into the section, these values are going to be filtered out. If you are typing here and you are not pressing here, then it is not going to affect. It is going to affect only I and P. Right? So I have unchecked everything, so this is a look and feel. I will check one by one and see what are the actions I'm going to see. Like I am going to click prompt with list of values and click OK, and I am going to show what are the options is going to see. Like if you are not sure what kind of values are available, then you have to check that box, so that it is going to give you the list of values. So end user can easily select and they can click this box to make a filter available, right? So if we have more number of value, we can search it here. So we have a find option to match. If you type P, then click this option, it's going to filter it out only that respective element, and we can make that as available to the filter. Still you can type manually and you can click this button to make the filter available. Alright. Next one is select only from list. So it means it is going to hide the text box, so there won't be any option to type it manually. So if I go to refresh, here you can see I have to select only from the list of values. I don't have any box to type manually. Right here, this is just for a search or find option. Next, third option is keep lost value selected. So it means if I check this box, whenever I execute the query, it is going to select the lost value. So for example, if I filtered I for the billing status, so I executed the report, I am seeing the report, and again if I refresh, that I value will be available. Let me show that. So I am just running this query, right? I am just filtering out only I. So it is going to apply this filter in a data source level. So this filter will be horizontally applied and it is going to filter only I. So now you can see. If I refresh this, you can see I selected by default because I have checked that keep lost value selected. Now I am going back to parameter section or prompt section. I am going to uncheck this. Click OK and run this query. So here I am selecting now. So now I am inside report. If I click refresh, so here the I is gone, the last value selected is gone, so we have to select manually at every time. So this will be helpful for end users to make the selection again and again. To avoid that selection again and again, they can go with that keep lost value selected. Right, and we have optional prompt. So whenever you check this box, user no need to enter anything for this prompt. So if this checkbox is unchecked, then you can see an option called star, like star. So it means it is mandatory. So here we have a OK button which is disabled. So it means we have to filter at least one value on this prompt so that this OK is enabled. But if I select optional prompt, I can go without selecting any value. So without selecting any value, the OK button will be enabled. So I can go without selecting any value. So it means it is going to not filter any value for the billing status. So it is going to take all the value for billing status. And below we have a set default values. So if I click set default values, I can set a value for default. So whenever we execute a report, it is going to filter by default P. So you can set that out. So I'm not filter it out here. I have set the value as default as P. So it has by default added. So you can use that option as well. Alright. If I go to universe property, I have created a universe level parameters which I can make use of prompt inside my WebI report. Right. And the fourth and fifth option is disabled by default because object from this query. So object is nothing but these are the objects. So under this folder we have different objects, right? So these are the objects. So by default it is disabled because we can pass only to the equal parameter. So we can't pass multiple parameter from object from this query. So I have to make it as a single value. So I have to choose equal to. So equal to in the sense it is going to accept only single value. So now if I go here, I can see the option enabled object from this query. So if I select this, I can pass any value from the respective object available in that our universe or reporting data set. So I have select like this billing status. So it is going to apply that I and P one by one into the filter billing status, right? And fifth option is result from another query. So I have only one query in this report. If I add another query, then the fifth option will be enabled. So we can make use of the another query to pass the value into the first query. So if I created a second query with a different business layer view, I can go here, I can see the option enabled it, result from another query. So it is going to search for another query, and if we have anything, then we can filter it out. Alright. So at present, we are not selected, we have not taken any objects. So by when we go here, we can see an option like yeah, so actually this from different view. So we'll go with Subform object. So basically we have to run one time. So we have two queries. So by going this option, so we can see the objects under second query, so which we can select it out to filter, right? So here you can see it is from query 2. So these are the properties of query filter in a WebI intelligence report.